All right, friends. So we are going to continue talking about bar graphs today. So we've already talked about how to make a bar graph. Remember, we're still using the information from a tally chart to put it in the bar graph like this. So I see that if I have 7 tallies, that I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rectangles shaded to make one bar that is even with the number 7 on our scale. Remember, this is the scale. This is the label that tells me what we're counting, which is the number of votes. I have my title, and I have my flavors of ice cream, and the categories are chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and mint, and those are where our bars come in. So let's look at how we analyze this. So remember, analyze means to think more closely and to see what information we can get from looking at this bar graph. So let's look. So Owen surveyed some number of classmates. So how do you think I figure out how many classmates he surveyed? Think about that for a second. How do you think I figured that out? So we can obviously see that they've written the answer in for us, which is 21. But think about how we would be able to get that answer. Well, I can get it by adding up the total number of classmates that have been interviewed. So we have 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. So I'm going to write that right here. I have 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. So I'm going to use my excellent strategy of finding numbers that make 10 first and then adding the rest. So in this case, I can see that which numbers make 10? 7 and 3. And if I add 7 and 3 together, I get 10. Oh, Ms. Hargrove, let's not do that. That's going over stuff. So this would equal 10 plus, and then I need to add 5 and 6, right? So 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 6. Let's use our other strategy because we know that 15 plus 5 is 20, so I'm going to be going over 20. So let's go to 20 and then let's go to the rest. So I've got 15 plus what equals 20? 15 plus 5, and then how many more do I need to add to make it 6 total that I'm adding? 1 more, so the answer would be 21. 21 classmates. Remember, we need a label on that answer. It's classmates in this case. All right, so now we're going to look at the bar graph, and we're going to see what the answers are to these questions. So I've got the flavor with the least votes. So what's great about a bar graph is I can see very quickly which bars are the tallest, which bars are the smallest, and that can tell me, in this case, the favorite flavor of ice cream and the least favorite flavor of ice cream. The least favorite is going to be the one with the smallest bar. And so in this case, that would be what? Vanilla. Vanilla has the smallest number of votes, so it's the least favorite. Chocolate received 2 more votes than which one? Who did chocolate receive 2 more votes than? Let's look. So I see that chocolate has how many? 7. So whatever one has 2 less is going to have 2 less bars that are shaded. Oh, like this one right here. Here's 2 bars that are unshaded that would make it even with chocolate, and that is strawberry. So strawberry has 2 less shaded bars than chocolate does. So strawberry is my answer there. Strawberry. What 2 flavors did a total of 11 students vote for? So something else I like to do on a bar graph that helps me to not only see the size of the bars, but to see the number that they're representing is to put the number above the bar. So in this case, chocolate has 7, vanilla has 1, 2, 3. Strawberry has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and mint has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and let's just go back to our scale here. I see that chocolate's bar is even with the 7. Vanilla's bar is even with 3. Strawberry's bar is even with 5. And mint's bar is even with 6. So if I didn't feel like counting all the boxes, or if there weren't any boxes, sometimes when you start getting into more advanced bar graphs, you're not going to have all these lines in here, and you're going to have to just see what it's even with, especially if you start getting into scales of like 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000, right? So you're going to have to really look at the scale more closely and find out what your bar is even with, okay? All right, so which 2 of these numbers equal 11? I want you to look at 7, 3, 5, and 6. Which two numbers, if I add them together, are going to equal 11? I know it's not chocolate and vanilla because I already added 7 and 3 and got 10 earlier. So think about that for a second. I know that 5 and 6 equal 11. So I'm going to fill in which two flavors? Strawberry and mint, because that is what those bars represent, are the people who liked strawberry ice cream and the people who liked mint ice cream. Okay? So think about this for a second. How could this bar graph help a teacher plan a class party? Pause this video and tell somebody around you, or just tell your teddy bear what this bar graph could help a teacher do. All right, glad you're back. So if you said help her find out which flavor of ice cream to bring for the class party, you would be correct. So if I were the teacher, I would say, well, chocolate is definitely going to be the flavor that I'm going to bring, but I might also bring some mint because that was the second favorite. So we're going to move on to one other example. So let's look. This time we have a horizontal bar graph, and it's going to ask us some questions. So what color hair do 5 students have? Well, I'm going to go down here to my scale and see what bar is even with 5. And I see it's this red bar, which tells me what hair color? Brown. Brown. Okay. What color hair do 4 students have? Again, I'm going to go down here to my scale and I'm going to see what is even with the 4. Oh, this yellow bar is even with the 4, which is blonde hair. Blonde hair. What 2 hair colors do the same number of students have? Well, if I'm looking at my bar graph, I see that this bar and this bar are the same size. They both have 3 boxes shaded, which represent 3 students that have that color hair, and those colors of hair are black and red. Black and red. This is just a little short way to write "and," by the way. So we don't have to write the full word on that little line. All right, now we have another example of how many students were surveyed. Remember, I'm looking for the total number of people, and what do I do to find the total number of people? I'm going to add up how many total rectangles are shaded for each bar all together. So I'm going to do my strategy where I write the number next to each bar of how many people that represents. So for brown hair, I have 5, and I know that because the brown bar is even with the 5 on the scale. Black has 3, blonde has 4, and red has 3. So I'm going to add those numbers together. Anybody see a good couple of numbers to add first? What numbers would you add first? Is there a way that you can make 10? Well, there's not a direct way to make 10, but could I use a doubles fact of 3 plus 3 and get 6? And then I know 6 plus 4 is 10? Yes, I definitely could. So if all this is 10, then all I have to do is do 10 plus that last 5 from up there. So 10 plus 5 equals 15 what? What does each box represent? A student. So it's 15 students, and I know that because of the label down here next to my scale. So 15 students were surveyed. How would this graph change if 20 students took the survey? How do you think the graph would change? I think it would change in a couple of ways, right? I think that our bars would have to get bigger because obviously there are going to be more people with these different colors of hair. And then I see something else that would have to happen. What do you think would happen? I'm going to have to make my bar graph bigger, right? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars left. So that would be all the bars that I would need. But is there a chance that I would have somebody else who has brown hair? Yes. Is there a chance that I would have more than one person who's going to have blonde hair? Yes. So that would also happen is our bars and the bar graph would get bigger. Okay. All right. So now we've got a separate bar graph down here. We've got a little line that's telling us we have a new bar graph we're looking at. So this bar graph is talking about pets. So this sounds like the number of people that have these different pets. So our categories are dog, cat, fish, and bird. Again, we have a horizontal bar graph in this case. So let's look. Which pets do most students have? Well, I see that the biggest bar is right here, and it's even with 5. And there's no other bar that is that large. So dog is that bar. So I'm going to say that dog is the pet that most students have. Which 2 pets do the fewest students have? Let's think about that for a second. So again, what do you notice here? What do you notice? I have 2 bars that are the same size. So cat and bird are the same size, and they also happen to be the smallest bars. So cat and bird are the 2 pets that the fewest students have. Now they're asking us how many students have cats and birds. So how do you think I'm going to figure that out? Well, it's going to involve addition. So I'm going to add the number of people who have cat as a pet and add to that the number of people who have a bird as a pet. I'm going to add my numbers to the side just so I can see this a little bit more clearly of what each bar is representing. So I can see that cat and, I'm going to circle that, cat and bird are the 2 that I'm looking at. So my number sentence would be 3 plus 3, which equals 6 students. Remember, it's so important that you know what your boxes are representing in your bar graph, okay? In this case, it's the number of people. It could be the number of cars or the number of sports balls, or it could be the number of anything, right? So you just have to really be careful that you're paying attention to that right there and that you know what each of these boxes represents. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.